I don't want her on my team. The words echoed through the secure briefing room at Naval Special Warfare Command as Commander Jake Sullivan stared at the personnel file that had just been placed on his desk. Petty Officer First Class Zoey Anderson, 26 years old, ice blue eyes, shoulder-length blonde hair that she kept in a regulation bun, and a sniper qualification score that had shattered every record in Navy SEAL history. But Sullivan had commanded special operations teams for 15 years, and he'd never had a female sniper integrated into a SEAL unit. When intelligence reported that a high-value terrorist target was planning a coordinated attack that would kill thousands of innocent civilians, Sullivan's team would be inserted into hostile territory to eliminate the threat. What he didn't know was that the mission would go catastrophically wrong, leaving 12 of America's most elite warriors pinned down by enemy fire with no escape routes and no backup. In those desperate moments, Zoey Anderson would discover that sometimes the most dangerous weapon in any arsenal isn't the newest technology or the most firepower. It's the sniper everyone underestimated, with 8 perfect shots that would save 12 lives and change everything. Petty Officer First Class Zoey Anderson had been fighting for her place in the Navy SEALs since the day she'd qualified for sniper school 2 years ago. At 26, with ice blue eyes that could spot a target at 1,200 meters and steady hands that had never missed a critical shot, she'd proven herself in every training exercise and evaluation the Navy could devise. But proving herself in training was different from being accepted by the teams that would determine whether she ever saw real combat. "Anderson," announced Master Chief Robert Hayes as she entered the briefing room at Naval Special Warfare Command in Coronado, California. "You're being assigned to SEAL Team 3 for a high-priority classified operation. Commander Sullivan will brief you on mission parameters." The reaction from Commander Jake Sullivan was immediate and predictable. He looked at her personnel file, then at her, then back at the file with an expression that suggested he was questioning the sanity of whoever had made this assignment decision. "Master Chief," Sullivan said carefully, "I requested the best available sniper for this operation. Are you sure this is the right file?" Master Chief Hayes, a 23-year veteran who had seen more combat than most people could imagine, met Sullivan's gaze steadily. "Commander, Petty Officer Anderson has the highest sniper qualification scores in SEAL history. Her performance in advanced training has been exceptional. She's exactly what you requested." Sullivan studied Zoey's qualifications again. Expert marksman with multiple weapon systems, 98% accuracy at ranges exceeding 1,000 meters, perfect scores on stress fire exercises, advanced tactical training, and psychological evaluations that indicated exceptional performance under pressure. But she was also someone who had never been deployed with a SEAL team, never been tested in actual combat conditions, and never been part of the kind of high-stakes operation that could determine the success or failure of a mission that affected national security. "Anderson," Sullivan said finally, "what's your combat experience?" Zoey had expected this question, but it still stung. "Sir, I have extensive training in simulated combat environments, advanced marksmanship under stress conditions, and I've completed every phase of SEAL Sniper School with distinction. I'm qualified for any mission you need to complete." "That's not what I asked. Combat experience, real bullets, people shooting back, life or death situations where one mistake gets your teammates killed." Zoey met his eyes steadily. "None, sir. But every sniper gets their first combat mission at some point. I'm ready for mine." Sullivan looked at Master Chief Hayes, who nodded slightly. The assignment had come from levels high enough that questioning it further would be career suicide. "All right, Anderson. Here's the situation. Intelligence has identified a high-value terrorist target who's coordinating a series of attacks that could result in thousands of civilian casualties. The target is heavily protected, operating from a fortified compound in hostile territory and surrounded by security forces that make conventional approaches impossible." Sullivan activated a secure display that showed satellite imagery of a mountainous region with a large compound situated in terrain that provided natural defensive advantages. "The target is Khalid Rahman, a terrorist leader who's been developing coordination protocols for simultaneous attacks on civilian infrastructure in 3 different countries. He's operating from this compound, which intelligence estimates contains approximately 40 armed fighters with advanced weapons and communications equipment. Zoey studied the imagery carefully. The compound was positioned on high ground with excellent fields of observation in all directions. Any conventional assault would be detected long before attacking forces could reach effective range. What's the mission profile, sir? Infiltration and elimination. A 12-man SEAL team will insert at night, approach the compound using stealth techniques, and eliminate the target along with his communications equipment and operational capabilities. Your job would be to provide overwatch and precision fire support if the primary assault team encounters resistance. Sullivan paused, then continued. Anderson, this isn't a training exercise. If we encounter enemy forces, if the insertion goes wrong, if anything doesn't go according to plan, you'll be making split-second decisions that affect the lives of 12 operators and the success of a mission that could prevent terrorist attacks on innocent civilians. Zoey had trained for exactly this kind of scenario hundreds of times, but she understood what Sullivan was really asking. Was she ready to transition from someone who hit targets on a range to someone who eliminated human beings in defense of her teammates and her mission? Sir, I understand the responsibility. I'm ready to do whatever the mission requires. Sullivan studied her for a long moment, then nodded. All right. Mission briefing is tomorrow at 0600. Deployment in 72 hours. Anderson, you'll be carrying an M40A6 sniper rifle with match-grade ammunition, and you'll be responsible for providing precision fire support from a concealed position approximately 800 meters from the target compound. Understood, sir. One more thing, Anderson. When we're in the field, there are no second chances, no do-overs, no training officers to reset the exercise if something goes wrong. The 11 men on this team are going to be counting on you to perform flawlessly when it matters most. Are you sure you're ready for that level of responsibility? Zoey thought about the training that had brought her to this moment, the hundreds of hours of marksmanship practice, the countless scenarios she'd navigated during advanced tactical exercises, and the knowledge that somewhere in the world, a terrorist was planning attacks that would kill innocent people. Sir, I'm not just ready. I'm the best sniper available for this mission. When the time comes, I'll deliver exactly what the team needs. Sullivan's expression remained neutral, but Master Chief Hayes smiled slightly. Good answer, Anderson. Don't let us down. 3 days later, Zoey found herself aboard a MH-60 Seahawk helicopter flying through darkness toward a landing zone 12 kilometers from the target compound. The SEAL team sat in complete silence, each operator conducting mental rehearsals of the mission plan while monitoring equipment and checking weapon systems. Zoey wore full combat gear, body armor, night vision equipment, communication system, and survival kit, while carrying the M40A6 sniper rifle that would be her primary weapon during the operation. The rifle was equipped with advanced optics and had been zeroed for the specific environmental conditions they expected to encounter. Commander Sullivan, who served as the team leader, activated his communication system for a final briefing as they approached the landing zone. Gentlemen and Anderson, this is it. We insert in 10 minutes, approach the compound using Route Bravo, establish overwatch positions, and eliminate the target. Intelligence confirms that Khalid Rahman is in the compound, along with approximately 40 fighters and advanced communications equipment. Sullivan looked at each team member as he continued. Anderson, you'll establish your overwatch position here, he indicated a location on the tactical map, approximately 800 meters from the compound, with clear fields of fire covering the primary approach routes. Your job is to provide precision fire support if we encounter resistance and to eliminate any threats that could compromise the primary assault. Zoey confirmed her understanding. Roger, sir. Overwatch position established, precision fire support available, priority targets identified. The helicopter began its approach to the landing zone, and Zoey felt the familiar combination of anticipation and focus that came before any important mission. This was what she'd trained for, what she'd worked toward through 2 years of advanced sniper school and countless hours of preparation. But as the aircraft touched down and the SEAL team prepared to disembark, none of them could have anticipated how drastically the mission would deviate from their carefully planned approach. The landing zone that intelligence had identified as secure was compromised. As the SEAL team exited the helicopter, enemy muzzle flashes erupted from concealed positions around the landing zone. The terrorist forces had detected the insertion and prepared an ambush that turned what should have been a routine insertion into an immediate firefight. "Contact! Contact! Landing zone is hot!" Sullivan's voice crackled over the communication system as the team took cover and began returning fire. Zoey rolled out of the helicopter with her sniper rifle and immediately began scanning for enemy positions through her scope. She could see muzzle flashes from at least 6 different locations around the landing zone, indicating that the ambush involved significantly more fighters than intelligence had suggested. "Anderson, can you identify enemy positions?" Sullivan's voice came through her earpiece. "Affirmative. I count 6 enemy positions, approximately 200 to 400 meters from our position. Taking shots now." Zoey lined up her first shot on an enemy fighter who was directing fire at the SEAL team from behind a rock formation. The range was 340 meters, with minimal wind and good visibility through her night vision scope. She controlled her breathing, settled the crosshairs on the center of the target's mass, and squeezed the trigger. The shot was perfect. The enemy fighter dropped immediately, eliminating one of the threats that had been pinning down the SEAL team. "Good shot, Anderson." "Continue engaging targets of opportunity," Sullivan commanded while coordinating the team's response to the ambush. Zoey methodically engaged enemy positions around the landing zone, using precision fire to eliminate threats while the SEAL team maneuvered to escape the ambush zone. Her second shot eliminated an enemy machine gunner at 280 meters. Her third shot disabled an enemy sniper who had been targeting the team from an elevated position 450 meters away. But the ambush had revealed something that changed the entire mission profile. The terrorist forces had significantly more fighters than intelligence had indicated. They were better equipped than expected, and they had known about the SEAL team's insertion in advance. "All call signs, this is Overwatch," came the voice of the mission commander who was monitoring the operation from a secure location. "Intelligence indicates the target compound now contains approximately 80 fighters instead of the 40 we expected. Mission parameters have changed. You are authorized to abort and extract." Commander Sullivan, who was coordinating the team's movement away from the compromised landing zone, made a tactical decision that would define the rest of the operation. "Overwatch. Negative on abort. Target is too important, and intelligence indicates the terrorist attacks are scheduled for tomorrow. We are proceeding with the mission using alternate approach routes." Zoey continued providing precision fire support as the team moved toward terrain that would give them concealment and options for approaching the target compound. But the ambush had cost them the element of surprise, and enemy forces were now actively searching for the American Special Operations Team. "Anderson, we're going to need continuous overwatch during our approach to the compound. Can you maintain position and provide fire support while we maneuver?" "Affirmative, sir. I have excellent visibility of potential enemy positions and can provide precision fire support throughout your approach." What followed was 3 hours of the most challenging tactical movement Zoey had ever experienced. The SEAL team moved through mountainous terrain using advanced stealth techniques, while enemy forces searched for them with night vision equipment and coordinated search patterns. Zoey provided overwatch from multiple positions, moving parallel to the team's route and engaging enemy forces that threatened to detect or intercept the SEALs. Her fourth shot eliminated an enemy patrol leader at 520 meters. Her fifth shot disabled enemy communications equipment that could have been used to coordinate reinforcements. By dawn, the SEAL team had reached positions that allowed them to observe the target compound and plan their final approach. But the tactical situation had deteriorated significantly from what they had expected. The compound contained more than 80 armed fighters, advanced security systems, and defensive positions that made a conventional assault extremely dangerous. Worse, intelligence suggested that Khalid Rahman was aware that American forces were in the area and was preparing to evacuate the compound within hours. "Anderson, we need to accelerate our timeline," Sullivan announced during a brief tactical conference. "Rahman is planning to leave the compound before noon. We have to complete this mission in the next 4 hours or lose the target permanently." Zoey studied the compound through her scope, identifying defensive positions, guard rotations, and potential approach routes that the SEAL team could use to reach the target building. "Sir, I can provide precision fire support to neutralize key defensive positions, but the compound is heavily defended. The team will be exposed during the final approach." Sullivan nodded. "We understand the risks. The mission is too important to abort. Rahman's attacks are scheduled for tonight. If we don't eliminate him and his operational capabilities here, thousands of innocent people will die." The SEAL team spent 2 hours planning their assault, identifying the optimal approach route, and coordinating timing that would allow them to reach the target building before enemy forces could mount an effective defense. Zoey's role was critical. She would provide precision fire support to eliminate key defensive positions and enemy personnel who threatened the assault team, allowing the SEALs to reach Rahman and complete their mission. At 10:00 hours, the assault began. The SEAL team moved toward the compound, using a combination of stealth and aggressive tactics, while Zoey provided overwatch from a concealed position 750 meters away that gave her clear fields of fire covering the entire assault route. Her 6th shot eliminated a sniper in a guard tower who had detected the SEAL team's approach. The range was 680 meters with crosswinds that required careful compensation, but the shot was perfect. Her 7th shot disabled an enemy machine gun position that could have inflicted significant casualties on the assault team. The target was partially concealed behind defensive barriers, requiring a precision shot that found the small gap between protective cover. The SEAL team reached the target building and began clearing rooms to locate Rahman. But as they searched for the terrorist leader, enemy reinforcements began converging on the compound from multiple directions. "Anderson, we have enemy forces approaching from the north and east. Can you engage to slow their advance?" Zoey shifted her position slightly to get better angles on the approaching reinforcements. Through her scope, she could see approximately 20 enemy fighters moving toward the compound in tactical formations that indicated professional military training. Her 8th shot eliminated the leader of the northern approach group at a range of 820 meters, the longest shot she had ever attempted in actual combat. The shot required precise calculation of wind drift, bullet drop, and target movement, but her training and natural abilities allowed her to place the bullet exactly where it needed to go. The elimination of the enemy leader disrupted the reinforcement effort and bought the SEAL team additional time to complete their mission inside the compound. "Target eliminated," came Sullivan's voice over the communication system. "Rahman is down. Destroying communications equipment now." But as the SEAL team prepared to extract from the compound, the tactical situation deteriorated catastrophically. Enemy forces had surrounded the compound while the SEALs were inside, creating a situation where the assault team was trapped with no clear escape routes. More than 60 armed fighters had established positions that covered every possible exit from the target building. "Anderson, we're surrounded. Enemy forces have us pinned down inside the compound. We need immediate fire support to create an extraction route." Zoey assessed the tactical situation through her scope. Enemy forces had established overlapping fields of fire that made it impossible for the SEAL team to move without being detected and engaged by superior numbers. But her position, 750 meters away, gave her the ability to engage enemy positions that the trapped SEALs couldn't reach with their weapons. "Sir, I can engage enemy positions to create a corridor for your extraction, but I'll need precise coordination to avoid friendly fire incidents." "Anderson, you're our only option. We're counting on you to get us out of here." What followed was the most intense 30 minutes of precision shooting in modern special operations history. Zoey systematically engaged enemy positions around the compound, using precision fire to eliminate threats and create gaps in the enemy's defensive perimeter, that would allow the SEAL team to escape. She eliminated enemy machine gun positions, sniper nests, command posts, and individual fighters who threatened the SEAL's extraction route. Each shot was calculated to maximum effect while avoiding any possibility of endangering the American forces she was supporting. The enemy forces, who had expected to overwhelm the trapped SEALs through superior numbers, found themselves being systematically eliminated by a sniper they couldn't locate and couldn't effectively engage. As Zoey provided covering fire, the SEAL team fought their way out of the compound, using the extraction corridor she had created with precision shooting. One by one, the 12 men who had been trapped in an impossible situation escaped to rally points where they could coordinate their movement to the extraction zone. But their escape had been noticed by enemy forces throughout the region, and additional fighters were converging on their position from multiple directions. "Anderson, we have multiple enemy groups moving toward our position. Approximately 40 additional fighters approaching from 3 directions. We need continuous fire support during our movement to the extraction zone." Zoey had already been engaged in precision shooting for more than an hour, but the mission wasn't complete until every member of the SEAL team reached safety. She continued providing overwatch and fire support as the team moved through terrain that provided limited concealment while enemy forces attempted to intercept them. Her shooting throughout the extraction phase was flawless. Every shot eliminated a threat. Every target was engaged at the optimal moment to maximize the team's tactical advantages. Every round she fired served the single purpose of ensuring that 12 American warriors made it home alive. When the SEAL team finally reached the extraction zone and boarded the helicopter that would take them to safety, Zoey had fired a total of 37 rounds and achieved 37 hits on enemy targets. More importantly, all 12 members of the SEAL team were alive, the mission had been completed successfully, and thousands of innocent civilians would be safe from the terrorist attacks that had been prevented. Commander Sullivan approached Zoey as the helicopter lifted off from the extraction zone. "Anderson, what you did back there was exceptional. You single-handedly created the fire support that allowed us to complete the mission and extract safely. Without your precision shooting, we would have lost the entire team." Zoey, who was exhausted from hours of intense concentration and precision shooting under extreme pressure, managed a tired smile. "Sir, that's what snipers do. We provide precision fire support when the team needs it most." Sullivan shook his head. "No, Anderson. What you did was far beyond standard sniper support. You conducted sustained precision shooting under combat conditions that would have challenged the most experienced operators. You made split-second tactical decisions that saved 12 lives while completing a mission that prevented terrorist attacks on thousands of innocent people." Master Chief Hayes, who had been monitoring the mission from the command center, was waiting when the team returned to base. "Anderson, I just reviewed the mission tapes and the after-action reports from all team members. What you accomplished during that operation was extraordinary. Commander Sullivan has recommended you for the Bronze Star with Combat 5, and I'm supporting that recommendation." Zoey thought about the training that had brought her to this moment, the skepticism she'd faced when joining a SEAL team, and the knowledge that her precision shooting had prevented terrorist attacks that would have killed innocent people. "Master Chief, I had excellent training, reliable equipment, and teammates who deserved everything I could give them." Hayes nodded. "That's the right attitude. But I want you to understand something. What you proved today wasn't just that you can perform as a SEAL team sniper. You proved that the best operator for any mission is the one with the skills, judgment, and commitment to get the job done when it matters most." Commander Sullivan, who had initially questioned her assignment to his team, approached her with an expression that showed complete respect and confidence. "Anderson, I owe you an apology. I made assumptions about what you could handle based on my own prejudices rather than your demonstrated capabilities. What you did during this mission was some of the finest precision shooting I've ever seen from any sniper, regardless of experience level." "Thank you, sir. But more importantly, you demonstrated something that changed how I think about team composition and operator selection. You proved that excellence in special operations has nothing to do with anyone's assumptions and everything to do with actual performance when lives are on the line. 3 weeks later, Zoey received orders assigning her permanently to SEAL Team 3 as their primary sniper. The assignment came with a promotion to Chief Petty Officer and recognition as one of the Navy's most accomplished precision marksmen. Lieutenant Michael Chen, one of the SEALs whose life had been saved by her precision shooting during the extraction, spoke for the entire team. Chief Anderson didn't just prove that women can serve as SEAL Team snipers, she proved that she's one of the best snipers any of us have ever worked with. Having her on our team makes us all more effective and more confident in our ability to complete difficult missions. Zoey's success opened doors that had previously been closed to female operators in special operations units. Within 6 months of her combat mission, the Navy announced that all special operations positions would be evaluated based on demonstrated capability rather than assumptions about gender-based limitations. She became an instructor at the Navy's Advanced Sniper School, teaching precision shooting techniques to operators from all branches of the military. Her combat mission became a case study in precision fire support, analyzed and taught to demonstrate the importance of sniper skills, tactical decision-making, and sustained performance under extreme pressure. But Zoey's most important contribution wasn't tactical, it was cultural. Her success fundamentally changed how special operations units viewed the integration of female operators in combat roles. The arguments about physical capabilities, unit cohesion, and operational effectiveness were permanently settled by her record of exceptional performance when it mattered most. Admiral Patricia Hayes, commander of Naval Special Warfare, spoke at a ceremony recognizing Zoey's contributions. Chief Anderson didn't just excel as a SEAL Team sniper, she redefined what excellence means in special operations. Her record of precision, professionalism, and life-saving performance will influence how we select and train operators for decades to come. Zoey's story became more than military history. It became inspiration for a generation of female operators who learned that artificial barriers dissolve under the weight of exceptional performance, that skepticism disappears when lives are saved through superior skills, and that the most powerful response to doubt is undeniable competence. Years later, when military historians studied the evolution of women in special operations, Zoey's mission would be cited as a turning point, the moment when questions about female operators' capabilities were definitively answered by 8 perfect shots that saved 12 lives and proved that excellence has no gender. The SEAL commander who hadn't wanted her on his team learned that the most dangerous sniper in any unit isn't determined by assumptions, but by the to deliver precision fire when everything depends on it. Zoey Anderson had proven that when SEALs are trapped and dying, the only thing that matters is the sniper who can place bullets exactly where they need to go, when they need to go there, with the precision that brings everyone home alive. The M40A6 sniper rifle was built for precision. Zoey Anderson had proven she was built to use it, and in proving that, she had opened special operations to every qualified woman who would follow in her path, carrying forward the legacy that competence transcends prejudice, excellence accepts no limitations, and when lives hang in the balance, the best operator is simply the best operator, regardless of anything else. The influence of Zoey's success rippled through the entire special operations community in ways that surprised even the most progressive military leaders. Within 18 months of her legendary mission, applications from women to Navy SEAL training increased by 280%. The number of female candidates successfully completing advanced sniper schools jumped from 0 to dozens across all military branches. But the transformation went deeper than numbers. Special operations units began redesigning their selection criteria, moving away from assumptions about physical requirements toward assessments that measured actual operational effectiveness. Training programs that had emphasized brute strength were refined to focus on precision, tactical intelligence, and sustained performance under extreme pressure. Master Chief Hayes, who had championed Zoey's assignment despite institutional resistance, was promoted to Senior Enlisted Advisor for Naval Special Warfare, and tasked with developing new integration protocols. His guidelines, informally known as the Anderson Standards, prioritize demonstrated capability over traditional assumptions about operator characteristics. Chief Anderson taught us that our preconceptions about what makes an effective special operator were often wrong, Hayes explained during a joint services conference on special operations effectiveness. Gender, size, background, none of those predicted performance as accurately as we thought. What predicted success was skill, judgment, and the ability to perform flawlessly when teammates' lives depended on it. The cultural shift wasn't limited to the military. Zoey's story became required study at leadership development programs across government agencies, demonstrating how unconscious bias could prevent organizations from utilizing their most capable personnel effectively. Commander Sullivan, who had become one of Zoey's strongest advocates, was selected to lead a new joint special operations training facility where her techniques for precision shooting and tactical decision-making became core curriculum for elite operators from all services. When I first met Chief Anderson, I saw limitations that existed only in my own assumptions, Sullivan reflected during his change of command ceremony. She taught me that the most dangerous enemy any leader faces isn't the opposition. It's the prejudice that prevents us from recognizing excellence when it doesn't match our expectations. Zoey Anderson had proven that excellence transcends every artificial barrier, that competence knows no gender, and that when lives hang in the balance, the only qualification that matters is the ability to save them. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, you can subscribe to see more incredible stories like this one.